Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's jump on in. We'll see where this storyline is going to take us. This is a singles storyline, and obviously, as we are headed toward Valentine Day, Valentine's Day, um, we will possibly have a story about love. But let's see. We start with Empress, followed by the Knight of Wands. Uh, wouldn't they like to get a piece, a slice of the Empress? I'm only chuckling because the Knight of Wands, they know a good thing when they spot it. They don't always have the staying power, but they definitely have great taste. They want to go toward the luscious Empress. They are driven by lust, oftentimes. And heart centered, and they want to explore whatever catches their fancy. But they're a knight. Doesn't mean that they couldn't morph into a king, a queen, an emperor, or an empress themselves. But the initial thing is usually just wild attraction and heart centered desire to discover this new marvelous landscape that is the Empress. Okay, so Fallen Raven, great to see you tonight. So we are starting out with a very powerful, possibly divine feminine. This could still be a masculine, but it is this character. We're going to say she. She. This is going to be the story of an Empress, obviously. And she's kind of out here doing her own thing, maybe not knowing how glorious she looks. She is like dressed in this, incredible, like identical color to the sunrise, kind of this glowing new dawn outfit. She's kind of just, I don't know, I'm picturing somebody who's got possibly like a golden aura about her, or there's just something very satisfied about her energy. So she comes across very comfortable, very in her best element, her greatest element. And she does kind of come across as like blessed. She's got a bit of a little halo around her as well. An Empress tends to function at a very high level. So, of course, anybody who passes by is going to notice, like, damn, that is somebody special. I don't know who she is. She's coming across as somebody who's got that magical it factor. Are they famous? Are they, who are they? I see this Empress. I can't not see her. It's almost like whether people would want to or not, they're going to look. They can't help it. Their head is going to be turned. They're going to turn to look because she's beautiful. I mean, the same reason, we can't help but notice a beautiful sunrise. So we can't fault him, okay? But we definitely see somebody who is coming toward her. I do not think she was trying to manifest this. We have the Magician. It is sideways. She seems to be in the midst of meditation when this person catches sight of her. So we could have a feminine who is going to start to sound pretty specific, but she could literally be standing somewhere, whatever. She's on a lunch break. She's on the weekend. She's, just out and about. And she just kind of is connected to the universe in her own way. She could pause, turn her face to the sun, just like she is here, and just kind of be enjoying this being alive. Now, she may be in a silent moment of like actively welcoming energies toward herself. She could be meditating on the kinds of things that she wants to have happen in her life. I feel like she does this possibly in like moments in her life, in her day. She doesn't necessarily have to sit down in a meditative pose or have like a specific location or a specific time. It's not like she has to go to a meditation class or to a yoga. I think she consistently, whatever it is that she wants to welcome into her life or give her energy to, I think she consistently will take snatches of moments, and they could be half a second, but that is how she manifests, and she manifests on a continual basis. It's kind of like a single drip out of a faucet that it's not even at a consistent timeline. It's just here and there. Anytime she thinks of it, she thinks positive energy, and she welcomes positive things into her life. Now, whatever she has been manifesting, we'll get into, but I feel like the vibe that she puts out is so powerful, so magnetic, that she snags a few other things that come toward her as well, even though she wasn't trying. Sorry, I just spit there at you guys. But I think she manifests things toward her that she didn't intend to, you know. Think of any kind of a magnet. If you've got a magnet handy, anything metal is coming at it, right? Not necessarily just the one item that you were hoping to, you know, the ring that you dropped somewhere, you know, between the grate of a gutter, but you're going to pick up whatever other, you know, spare change and all kinds of stuff. If you're using a magnet to try to attract the one thing that you want, other stuff's going to get stuck to it too. So we have a 10 of Wands. It's interesting because you notice that we have, I didn't draw this on here, this is on the card. You see the little heart, and it's drawn on the side of the wall that she's walking right next to. She's, as powerful as she is, she's actually still actively like cleansing her aura, or she is actively still laying down burdens. So she's headed for love. She's preparing herself for romance is what she's doing. Thinking about it like, I believe I'm laying down old wounds. I believe I'm healing. Universe, I continue to manifest, a cleansed spirit and body, soul, and mind, because I would like to come across love now. She's basically preparing herself for love and romance. So it's not a shocker that somebody would pick up on that, because even though she's not actively like maybe walking down the street, going like, ooh, who's the hotties around me? She may not be spotting them all over around her, but she's in her mindset. She's like, I'm preparing. I'm getting myself ready for partnership. I'm getting myself ready to meet somebody. And I know that I'm ready for this. This is going to be the next chapter of my life. But just by virtue of her being in this high vibrational and kind of like, I do feel like this is somebody who has a bit of a mantra. She has something that whether she says it in words or whether she just feels it from the heart, it doesn't matter. A mantra doesn't have to be words. It doesn't have to be verbal at all. But it still is it's a feeling that she's emitting. That is attracting whomever this knight is. Now let me just ask before we go anywhere else, what else is she going to be attracting? Because it can't just be one knight. It can't just be one knight. All right, here we go. We've got a 9 of Wands in the reverse. She's going to be attracting people that are not healed, people that have some problems, probably. She's going to probably have some people out there that are not, whole yet. She's also going to be attracting some people from her past. So beware. This is a story of an Empress. And it says, darling, we know you've been doing the work on you. We know you're in a really good place. But, oh, mama, wait till you see what's coming at you. Your magnetic energy is definitely pulling in more than one thing. Okay, is there anything else to be mindful of? I'm so sorry. We got the 10 of Wands. Okay, this is good because this is like meets like. There is also someone who is in their own 10 of Wands. We don't know who this person is yet, but they're not the ex. They're not the wounded energies that are going to, kind of like zombie their way toward her, wanting to eat her brains. And they're not the player energy who's just going to be like, damn, you're sexy. I wish I could stop, spend one night with you. All of those characters are coming at her. But so too is one who's going to match her energy. Somebody who's probably been working on themselves just as much. That's great to see. Now, here's the problem. The problem is she's got to weed through these 4. And there could be others, but these are probably the big ones. Obviously, the first person she may meet or who may even interrupt her, because I'm thinking that she's possibly going to have, knights are bold, especially this knight. He is he is the kind who, cat calls out the window as he drives by because he sees somebody beautiful and shouts out, hey, beautiful, and it can be sweet and it can be, like that was nice, but he probably does that to literally 5 people in a day. But again, good taste, right? He sees something beautiful and he shouts it out because that's the way his heart operates. Doesn't mean he's dateable, doesn't mean he's staying. But if she can take it in that that way and be like, okay, he just interrupted my peace and calm. This person who's driving by, he might even pull over, get out of his car, and try to get her number. He probably does that also 5 times a day. He's probably a jolly fellow who likes anything beautiful. Let's go piece by piece and ask, what is the advice to her in dealing with this person? It does not mean it's insincere at all. In fact, the Knight of Wands, if we could enjoy the Knight of Wands a little bit more, check it out, it's a Knight of Wands again, to clarify. If we could get to enjoy those Knight of Wands, they are charismatic, they are fun, they are the people that make us feel like alive sometimes, and it's funny and it's sweet and it's like, thanks for making me feel handsome, beautiful, sexy, whatever. I know I'm not giving you my number, but thank you. I'm glad that, we had a funny little exchange. And even here it's like, okay, bye. She may just say thank you. The advice here is, he's a Knight of Wands, treat him like a Knight of Wands. Charismatic, sweet, adorable, whatever. You made me feel nice. Now bye-bye. And this looks very jovial. It looks very like a nice exchange. It doesn't look like it gets to the bedroom. It doesn't look like it gets off the street. We're passing by. You're telling me I'm gorgeous. You're breaking my quiet, but that's okay. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Actually, I think that could be the first step into her foray of feeling noticed, and that night could be a very important part. We don't want to discount any of the people that she's going to encounter, because keep in mind, she's the one who's ready for love, preparing, like, to engage, practice. The Knight is a good person to practice flirtation with, because it's all it's going to be. It's not going to go the distance, and it's not going to be somebody that she marries, but have fun, enjoy the compliments, banter, and she's going to walk away probably with a big old grin, because this person was fun and charming and she got to practice her flirting skills. How nice that the universe is like sending her a practice run that is lighthearted and doesn't have to be taken with this huge seriousness. Okay, but next we got the wounded individual, who seems to be, I don't know if she's going to cross paths with them. The Knight comes at her. Now, the wounded individual, I'm thinking she maybe will come across, and she's going to have to, I think, well, let's let the cards talk. We've got the 8 of Wands sideways. She may find herself listening to someone. Oh, is there some crackling audio, you guys? Uh-oh. Sometimes I don't know that there've been some weird glitches all day today on okay, so RS, you said it's subtle. Some of you say it's pretty subtle. Okay. There have been some weird glitches all day today, actually, on YouTube, where it's taking a long time to process, and sometimes things glitch out. So I don't know if it's maybe it's so because I'm in a stormy area. So sorry, you guys. On Sunday, we'll do another single story, and hopefully the storms will have passed by then. But we'll go ahead and keep going. But I do apologize. With this 8 of Wands coming out sideways, that is like, I'm not going to say she has to monitor how much she talks to them, but she may be an open ear. And what she may need to listen for is the cues that can inform her, I'm talking to somebody who's wounded. They're probably not the person for me, because I'm in full Empress mode. And Empresses are great mothering energies, nurturing energies, but she doesn't want to get into the role of caretaking a wounded adult as a potential romantic partner. It does not mean that she's not sensitive and compassionate to a partner that is, everybody goes through wounds at some point in time, but it just says, listen closely for where are they at? Because if they're wounded, they're not healed, and they haven't been working on healing, it's okay to care deeply for someone, but maybe not to expect too much of them in return, because at the same way we can't expect somebody with a broken femur to go out dancing with us. They're in hospital. They're in a cast. They can't come out dancing with us. So we can enjoy them, but we really can't start to expect them to be our love match. So she's probably going to have to not set her sights on somebody who comes across when she starts to hear that they are wounded. Let me just get one more card on that. See, the Hermit. Again, this is somebody who actually is perhaps a little bit more, they almost want more time alone. They're still on a dark night of the soul. They're still trying to figure stuff out. They might be kind of drenched in some of their own like philosophical journey. They might have like a lot to say about the topic of love. They might almost be more of like a student of, you know, what love and relationships are all about. They could be a great conversationalist, but they're not really in a place to participate in romance, but they might talk and talk and talk about it. So limit how much time she spends just talking about it. Because keep in mind, she's already done the work. She's not on her hermit's journey. She's coming back to life. She's coming back to start to, you know, like connecting to somebody. So she's ready for that instead, which is awesome. Okay, let's get to the X, because there's always an X coming back. I'm telling you. The reason I say this is an X, because the Seven of Swords is here. This is somebody lying about the fact that things are over. Inside the coffin, they've been writing hope and reflection. This is more the zombie card, right? They lied. They said it's over. They're not interested. But guess what? Here they come. And they're coming in a broke down car. They're coming in tattered, but they're coming in thinking that, you know what? I want this after all. I do. Here I am. Let's just, I mean, I know this was a dumpster fire between us before, but you know what? I know I left you. I said it was over, but I never forgot about you. I want you back. I want to do this all over again. Here's the one problem. The ex in this story, she may need to look closely and say, is anything different though? Because if we weren't successful before, is there any semblance of change that would indicate that now we could have success? This hints no. In fact, it actually says that the only thing that's passed is time. But maybe the same things are not going to be compatible that were always not compatible. The car isn't in better condition. The car isn't repaired. And the car is kind of, in this case, like a metaphor for maybe the way they would handle a relationship, what they think a relationship destination would be. It just doesn't look like they have a good idea of where to go, what to do, or where to end up with this relationship with an Empress. They would like to move things forward with her, though, very much. But again, the big thing is look. So on one, it's funny because it's like, listen to the words that somebody says to define, wow, I think I'm dealing with a really wounded person who's not ready for love. Then the X comes in and it's like, wow, look with my eyes and really notice, are there any real changes? Or maybe look with my heart to see, are there any real changes? Could I see a different outcome for us? Because I'm thinking that the answer might be no, but let's get one more card there. Three of Swords. No, it's going to lead to heartbreak all over again. I don't think that the ex has made any significant changes in their behavior. If they hurt her before, they would likely hurt her heart again, or vice versa, or both of them together. It would end in another round of heartbreak. Probably not worthwhile going down that road. Okay, now let's get to our fourth contestant. I feel like this is the dating game show. The fourth contestant is much more well matched. They are somebody who's done a lot of self-work. They're also at the 10 of Wands. This is a chapter closing. This is the energy of having worked through enough that you can lay down all kinds of other fear, guilt, shame, remorse, things that inhibit us, things that bother us. We have a 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. This is probably somebody who doesn't still have a ton of work to do on themselves. They have accepted who they are. They know who they are. They're not living in any kind of like la la land or saying, someday I want to be somebody who I'm not today. They're not working anymore because they've arrived. This is a person who's accepted themselves as they are. It doesn't mean that they're not still developing and won't, do more with their life because we're always evolving. But this is somebody who's accepted the fundamentals of who they are, and they don't hate themselves. They don't loathe themselves. They're not filled with, regrets, and they're not hiding from anything. This is somebody who's like, yeah, you know what? There's some stuff I don't do well. It's okay. I'm not all hung up over the things that I don't have perfectly worked out in my life. This is somebody who can probably say, oh yeah, I screwed up a couple things in my life. I might still screw them up again, but I know a lot better now. I make a few less mistakes, but sometimes you get stuff wrong, and you got to say sorry. You got to eat humble pie. This is somebody who's very, I don't think anybody's ever stronger than when they're able to be comfortable in their own skin. And I think that's when they really gain traction and make the most progress in life, is when you don't look at mistakes and failing as something to be feared, because you're going to fumble, you're going to biff here and there, you're going to fall, you're going to trip, you're going to look foolish. Once you get comfortable being an absolute fool, being played, and saying, big deal, so what? That happens. Sometimes you look stupid. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes, your best laid plans, you build a business, you think it's going to take off, and it doesn't. And that's what happens. It doesn't make you a failure. It just means it wasn't the right time for that business. Or maybe it was a sucky business idea, but I sure learned a lot out of it. He doesn't judge himself for like what hasn't been absolutely perfect. So we've got the Three of Wands. This is somebody who's looking forward to, like whatever the future is going to be. He's looking forward. It's so funny because he feels like he's been a clown before, and he probably doesn't even care, but he's ready for a different future. And he might even laugh at himself about that. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm at a new beginning in my life. You notice how my impression, I'll just say it, is like this could be a divorced individual. This could be somebody who's, and we're going to say man just because that's what we saw here. This could be a man who had it all at one point, had life supposedly worked out, had a career, had this, had that, and he's actually starting over again in his life. But what he sees is fertile ground. I'm planting a new life for myself. Yes, I'm at another new beginning. This is somebody who sees a future ahead for himself. He doesn't know exactly what it's going to be, but he sees the potential, and he's kind of like in this place, much like our Empress, where I'm ready to see what I build next. I'm open to this. I'm open to putting in the work. I like where they're both at. I feel like this would be perfect for two people who are in this mentality to meet. He doesn't have all these encumbrances. Even if he was divorced, we always say, oh, well, people pick up baggage along the way in life. Well, yes and no. If you handle chapters of your life, it's not baggage, it's part of your life story. Baggage is when you've got like unhealed traumas, and you've got, unfinished this and that keeps sucking you backwards, so you can never really build with a new person and fall in love again, or totally be dedicated to the next chapter, because you still, going over and over in your head things of the past, so you're not really living in your present nor planning your future. To me, that's what baggage is. I don't mean that I'm right. I'm just saying this is how I interpret it. He's not carrying baggage, and neither is she. These are two people who have a life story. They've had loves and romances and failures and the whole nine yards, but they're also in a place where they're ready for the next chapter. These characters could be older. These characters, these could be characters that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They could be widows and widowers. It is never too late to start over and have the next chapter of life. It's really quite exciting to see these two. Okay, so universe, why don't you weigh in on this one now? We have got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is upright. And this is, what's the lies and running away about? That's a weird one. Three of Pentacles, the Lovers. Well, that's, it's almost like, I'm not going to say it's a lot to contemplate. What it is it's showing the differences. Sometimes we lie to ourselves in love, And that's how we don't end up with the right person. Sometimes we run away from things because we're not being honest with ourselves about who we are or what we really want. And that's how we don't end up happy. Other times we are super invested and we want to go ahead and build. But again, is it based off of like an insincere or untruthful idea of what a romance is supposed to be? Or have we worked through, that flight or fight? Have we worked through, lies that we've told ourselves? Are we really listening to our heart, to our soul? I always think of this wizard here standing behind them as kind of like the universe overseeing this. And we have these two that are coming to like the real tree of life here. It kind of seems to me that the universe is saying these two had to both work through lies and deception. They got lied to. Sometimes they lied to themselves. Sometimes they ran. Sometimes other people ran. They had to get through that. Then they had to get to the point where they both decided, I really want my tree of life to grow, and I really want to hear my higher self. I want to maybe surrender a little bit to the universe, but I also want to use the lessons I've learned. And the universe is like, and that is why they're ready for love. That's what has prepared these two. It's not because they didn't go through a whole bunch of crap first. It's the reason they're ready for love is because they actually did go through all of this. And then they made the conscientious choice to say, listen, I want to come to the tree of life, and who I meet there at the tree of life that is really right for me, the branches that I could really grow properly. When I come across that person, that's what I will surrender to. I kind of feel like they both had to be in this willing heart space in order to meet. This is the card that I care the most about, is that Three of Pentacles right now. Tell me a little bit about this, because this is how these two come across each other. Eight of Cups, Temperance in the reverse. This is not going to happen in a way that'll make any sense. It'll be a day where she's not having a good day. She's not going to meet him on a good day. She's going to meet that knight on a good day. She's going to come across that wounded person on what is also probably a fairly good day for her. And then that ex could show up on, again, a day when she's feeling pretty good. When she meets him, she's not going to be feeling good. It's going to be a day that everything is wonky. Everything is weird. Not the serendipitous, perfect, everything seems so aligned and so arranged kind of vibe, but something completely opposite. Something that feels like, okay, universe, why is everything seemingly going belly up? He's going to meet her on a day where, talk about like total closure. He could be, we saw him like in a place of looking at, okay, I'm at a completely new junction in my life. I'm ready to look at my future, and I see fertile soil, but I haven't even planted anything yet. He could meet her on a day where he finalizes some closure on whatever he was dealing with. Let's say he just, moved out of a place, sold a place, finalized some kind of documents. This is him seemingly saying, well, I have no clue what's up next for me. She's been in a state of kind of like bliss and calling in what's right for herself, coming across a few things that aren't right for her as some kind of test runs. And then she may have a day that's kind of wonky or weird when she meets him, which is kind of perfect because this is less, I would say it's a lot less unrealistic. The Two of Wands. The two of them are going to be in places they wouldn't normally be. The Two of Wands is like, it's the choices that we make, but I think both of them are going to be in a weird day where they're making different choices than they ever normally would. They're going to end up in a weird, like I would never normally be here. It's just that, I don't know, these look like tires to me. Maybe she has a car problem, a tire issue, something like that. He's like, I didn't really have a place to be today. I just sold my house, and I'm trying to debate, do I move? Where am I headed next? I'm both of them are going to be in a weird moment where choices are in front of them as to what to do, or they find themselves having made different choices when they normally ever would. This is an unusual day. This is not anything that either is going to be familiar with when they meet, which I think adds more excitement to it. Hanged Man sideways. You notice that this is always like the Akashic record card for me. simply because we have him hanging in the, again, like the tree of life, tree of wisdom, right next to the big library, the Akashic record library, where anything that anyone could do, has done, will do, has already been pre-recorded in books. I mean, it's the brief rundown of what the Akashic records kind of are. These two are both in a place where it's time for them to pick a new book. It's time for them to pick a new life. It's time for them to do a timeline jump. She's kind of in a funky, at her wit's end, not knowing what comes next, feeling a little discombobulated. She needs somebody to ground her. He's free as a bird with that 8 of Cups and needing someone to ground him. And I kind of think that these two will be perfect. Like, I'm picturing two people that wind up like holding hands, and that's it. Like, it clicks for them. 3 of Wands, it definitely marks their next chapter of life. This is a very serendipitous day. Can I see anything else about what day this is? I mean, maybe it's like, I don't know, with the 3 being there, maybe it's the 3rd of next month or something. We have the 5 of Swords. It looks like a bad day. It looks like a shitty bang bang kind of day. What the hell is that about? Yeah, Justice card. Oh, how weird. It's so funny how an unusual turn of events and even an unpleasant turn of events can be the best day of their lives. Something that it seems like everything goes wrong. It seems like you're dealing with crummy people. You got bad news. Nothing's going right. And yet somehow that is also the day that the universe says, yeah, but let me give you something sweet. I know today's a bad day. Everybody's a bastard today, but hang on, you're going to meet this amazing person. That is the universe and its, mysterious and infinite wisdom, right? Let me fix the scales. I know this is crummy, but here, you're going to meet the love of your life. You're going to meet your next chapter. Who cares about the bastards? You're going to meet somebody so much better today. This is so crazy. I'm sorry that this storyline has like such a yuck feel, but then it's also so sweet and it's so nice. I kind of feel like okay, so this is where the universe says it's going to be imperative for both of these characters to realize that when everything feels weird and wonky and unusual and you don't have your bearings, it's probably because there's energy swirling around you. I mean, these are all these alchemical symbols hovering above these cups, and the universe is saying, when it feels weird for these characters, when they feel completely like discombobulated, it's because they're in like a little twister. It's like Dorothy getting scooped up by the tornado, in Wizard of Oz. And they're going to land in Oz, but they kind of get to pick where they land. They need to be aware of like, how am I going to behave? Everything could feel awful, could feel confusing, could feel funky, and yet they will meet each other on this day, and how they choose to interact with each other could determine whether or not they like latch onto each other's hands and they end up, someplace very happy, or they just get really pissed and they're having a temper tantrum and, everything sucks. This is like every character has their choice on how to react. But the reason it's going to be this big stirred up cauldron of, weirdness is kind of because this is the moment of change. Like, think of I guess we don't remember being birthed, but a baby who's about to be birthed, they went from being in this warm, squishy, dark place to suddenly being out in the big, huge, cold world, and their belly button hurts, and it's a confusing moment of change, right? This is kind of, maybe that's not a very good analogy, but the confusion of this and the discomfort of this is because something miraculous is happening. This is the moment of their new birth. How do they want to come into this new world? This says be mindful. Even on a bad day, don't throw a temper tantrum and be too pissed, except that there's something in the air, something's changing, and it could be really good. Knight of Wands, she may choose to, whatever crappy thing is going on when she meets them, she may choose to kind of laugh and remember she got to practice flirting with that Knight of Wands. This is actually her. We have a feminine as a Knight of Wands now. She may choose to laugh, flirt, be more lighthearted, be, you know, sometimes when everything's going wrong around you, all you can say is, well, fuck, I guess we just do whatever. I guess we just got to make fun of this. We just got to make light of this. We just got to go ahead and lean into the adventure because Lord knows I got no control over this. And she might be uncharacteristically lighthearted, charismatic, flirtatious, and kind of like laughing about whatever's going wrong, because what else are you going to do? Sometimes you just have to roll with it. Now that, again, that sense of adventure that she's filled with could be just the right move. Let's see. How is he going to handle this? Ooh, 10 of Wands. He may be kind of a serious duck. He may be sitting there going, oh my God. Oh my God. There's so many things to figure out. I'm almost picturing that the two of them, maybe they both go out for like a drink. She, because she's had a crummy day, and him because he doesn't quite know where he's going next. Maybe these two meet. I'm seeing all those cups and I'm hearing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. I don't know if these two meet. I'm not saying it has to be in a bar, but it could be something where they're just, again, it's an unusual place. Wherever these two would never normally go is where they may end up meeting, because it's on the heels of a very strange day that they both had. How they interact could be really great, though. I mean, he's with that 10 of Wands again. He's really aware that his life, it's like he has nothing to go back to. It's only whatever comes next. But he might be thinking pretty heavily of, you know, the changes going on in his life. He seems to be, you know, a man who accepts himself, but also a man who wants to figure out his next chapter. And at the moment, he doesn't have a direction. She seems to be like, I have no idea what's supposed to happen. I only know, may as well make it a good time. We're here now. 8 of Pentacles. These two could start just rapping and talking about life plans that could inspire each other. They could be impressed by what the other one's life story has been. They could start talking about the work they've done, what their life's work, what their life's interests are, their hobbies. I don't even picture these two figuring out each other's names at first. I feel like it's more like just a rapport of conversation and talking about, like, what are you doing? Well, I don't know. What are you doing in this thing we call life? It's like nobody has life figured out. We sometimes think we do, and then sometimes life turns us upside down on our heads, and then we go, wow, I sure thought I was in charge for a while. And it turns out I'm kind of more like a little boat on the ocean. And if the big waves come, I just hope my little boat stays afloat, you know, and everybody gets humbled sometimes. But I kind of feel like there's this interesting, like, they've got some great stories to swap. I feel like both of them, by the end of some kind of a conversation, I think these two have realized that there is more intelligent design to even the things that seem to be so serendipitous or so unusual or so like, how did I end up here? I'm not even supposed to be here, yet I'm meeting you today of all days. And we're talking, and somehow it's like, I don't know, I think that these two find stability with each other that they did not expect to find. None of this was like planned out exactly, even though she said, I am manifesting meeting whoever is the next love of my life. I am manifesting it however it comes into my life. It's just, I don't think she expected it to come in the way it does. He was in the place of saying, I release my past to look to my future, but heaven help me, I have no idea what that future is going to be, but I guess I'll figure it out. They were both so open. And so the universe was like, awesome, because I'm going to put you two in the washing machine and you're going to get spun out and spun around. And then we'll see what you two do. King of Wands. I'm thinking he's got a pretty clear direction by the end of their conversation, that she's pretty important to him. You know what? This was a very interesting story. Can I see just one last card, universe? Any other message? Why did we just get the 7 of Pentacles again? Did I accidentally shuffle that back in? Or did I knock that over? Didn't we already have this? Hang on, I got to go one more time. I swear, I thought that one already came out. I know we have the 7 of Cups, which this card does look fairly similar. but the one has the bottles. That's so weird. I don't know. But we have the Two of Swords. With the Seven of Pentacles being sideways, I know we got it when he was standing there looking in the mirror. That was our other Seven of Pentacles card, but still, I thought this one came out of this deck. Okay, I must be tripping. That Two of Swords with the Seven of Pentacles, you notice that this is somebody who's actively swinging their swords around, like practicing their martial arts, but they're blindfolded, so they can't see that their guides are right there going, squawking at them, saying, hey, no. There's like this confident direction. We know you're practicing, you're getting ready for stuff, but we're trying to guide you. This kind of says that these two could have met sooner, but they were both so busy getting ready that they weren't really listening to their guides. And I kind of think that that's an interesting side note. These two are awesome people. They could and should have been able to meet each other sooner, but they needed to do things the way they chose to do things. But it is maybe that little nudge. If these two tend to get really busy, practicing stuff, thinking that they're not ready yet for big changes, imagining that they have to do X, Y, and Z before they could be ready for the next chapter of their life, the universe is kind of saying, well, no, you decided that. I would have given you lots of success and happiness a lot sooner, but you put on your blindfold and swung your swords around, and you wouldn't let the birds come in and tell you and guide you. So maybe from here on out, for these two to not continuously think that they're still not achieving enough or good enough to have the kind of success that the universe wants them to have. That's our final message on that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Manisha, you sweetie, thank you so much, love. Thank you guys for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I so appreciate that. It really does help the channel. It helps the video to circulate and all of that. So thank you. If you didn't know how valuable that simple thumb click is, it is really valuable to us as content creators. So anyway, for all your favorite content creators, not saying I'm your favorite, but if you're hanging out because you're bored stiff and you wanted me to lull you into sleep, awesome. If you're awake, give it a click. Fallen Raven, so good to see you. Hi, Denisa. Wajuna Wild. RS, you angel. Thank you. Artist in the Wild, right back to you, love. Thank you. Oh, AC, you guys are so kind. Thank you, my love. Violet's in the house. Victoria Edwards, great to see you. Xavier Tovar, how are you, honey? Oh, thank you, RS. I'm glad you enjoyed the Libra video because I was like, ooh, this is a tough one. TMH, hi. I'm still going to get to, before tonight is over, I promise I will still get to Ophiuchus and Sagittarius tonight. But I think right after this, I'm going to bounce on over to Tarot Dog because it's 10:11, so we've got to get over there. Hey, Astro, Lulu, Twanette Raven, Maureen Jacobs, Slay Princess. Thank you guys so much. Yes, I agree with you, RS. The unusual is more authentic and real. Calm C. Hi, honey. How are you? Rachel's Magic. Thank you for being here, guys. Deepti Mohan. Oh, those are beautiful. I love the rainbow. Thank you. Hey, Danielle. Violet. Decoded. Thank you. And hopefully, I don't know if the buzz continued all through the video or not, but I am going to try one thing on my end before I bounce over to the other channel and see if maybe I can get rid of any of that little buzz. Thalia, great to see you, sweetie. Thanks for being here. Angelina Davina. All right, you guys, I'll see you in just a bit. Victoria Knox, you were right on time. Hi, Bailey. All right, you guys, I'll see you in just a hot minute over on Tarot Dog. All right, guys. Hey, India. Bye, everybody. Good night, India.